The Milwaukee Bucks are good. 22-8, second in the Western Conference, and in my opinion, they have either the best or second best duo in basketball. Before Brunson got him yesterday, they had won 7 games in a row, and this Giannis Dame connection is working to perfection on the offensive side of the ball because they are number 2 in points per game, number 3 in offensive rating. However, defensively, they are 16th in defensive rating with the number 5 net rating. A few more offensive numbers here for you. Really good. Field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and, Dame and Giannis are perfect complements to each other. The big problem, though, is defense. However, first, we're going to talk about the offensive side of the ball because that's more exciting. Dame, obviously the elite long-range scorer, the closer. Giannis is a good complement to him. We'll talk about him in a second, though. Dame on the year averaging 26 points per game, 7 assists, 4.7 rebounds. I said Giannis is the complement to Dame. I don't know. Dame's probably the compliment to Giannis. Giannis is that dude, if we're being honest. But Dame Lillard on the year shooting at 44% from the field, 38% from 3 on 9 attempts, while averaging 1.1 steals per game. Pretty solid numbers for him on the year. While Giannis, like we said, with Dame being the outside scorer and a guy that can close the game if you need him to, because other than Jokic or maybe Embiid, Giannis is probably in that category, but usually you have a guard closing things out. But he's a great interior threat. He's averaging 33 points a game and 11 rebounds. Dude is a monster. Top 3 MVP candidate with the other 3 guys I just mentioned. If you add in Luka Doncic, he's also averaging 11 boards, 5 assists, 60% shooting from the field. We won't talk about threes or free throw percentage because that's what kills him in the playoffs. But he's a really good defender. 1.4 blocks, 1.2 steals. Defensive Player of the Year type candidate. Just absolutely son Jonathan Isaac right there. He's a monster. And then the perfect in-between guy, the perfect mixture of Dame and Giannis, in my opinion, is Chris Middleton. A good, potentially great 3-level scorer. Well, maybe not potentially. Good, borderline great 3-level scorer. He's averaging about 13.5 points, 4.8 rebounds, 4.2 assists. Now, you might say, hey, those numbers are way down. There's a couple of big reasons for that. His minutes are down. They have been down ever since he's been working back from injury. And the second is that he is the third option now. When your top 2 guys combine for 60 a game, it's tough to have that third guy that can also combine for 20 to help him combine for 80. But he is shooting at 48% from the field and 36% from 3, which is very good. But as we talked about, only 24 minutes a night. I think it's still because he's coming back from that injury, so he's got 4, 5, 6 more minutes to add on to that later on in the year. But those big three, that's what is leading them towards this number 1 overall offense or top 3 ranked offense in many of the major categories. If you're enjoying today's video at any point, make sure to like button and leave me a comment down below, as well as hitting that subscribe button, as it really helps out in the YouTube algorithm. Now let's go ahead and continue on here. This defense has to get better. There's too much defensive talent on this team to be ranked in the bottom half of the NBA in defense. This lineup right here is absolute clamps aside from Dame Lillard. And you can hide him when you have those other 2 wings plus Giannis and Brook Lopez. Giannis, like we talked about, an elite defender, defensive player of the year type guy. Brook Lopez, another really, really good defender. 13 points a game, 4.8 rebounds, 1.3 assists a night as well. Splash Mountain, as they call him, completely redefined his game in Milwaukee. Great story after coming over from Brooklyn and the Lakers, of course, but 49% shooting from the field, 34% from 3, so the 3-point percentage is down a little bit, but he's averaging 3 blocks. He is so good on the defensive side of the ball that, his offense is just a compliment. And then you have a couple of young wings that are really good as well. MarJon Beauchamp and Andre Jackson Jr. Big fan of Jackson Jr. here. Yes, he's only averaging 3 points and 2 rebounds, but as the year goes on, he's going to get more and more minutes. I was ecstatic for the Bucks when they drafted him. Thought he was going to be an immediate impact on day 1, and that 46% from 3 is very encouraging. Meanwhile, MarJon Beauchamp, I thought he was going to step up a little bit this year. So far, he hasn't, but he's more of a defender than an offensive guy. 5 points on 49% shooting from the field, 44% from 3. Maybe they will look to get him some more touches. Of course, he gave up that number 0 for number 3 since Dame came in. Now, taking a look at the other role guys here. Bobby Portis, pretty good. Fan favorite there in Milwaukee, even though he cost me my parlay yesterday. He's averaging about 13 points per game, about 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. He's having a solid year. They got him. They got Brook Lopez. Malik Beasley, guys like that, all averaging about 10 points per game. Remember, this team is number 2 in terms of total offense. Bobby's also shooting at 52% from the field, 37% from 3, and about mid-20s in terms of minutes. They also got Cam Payne, who they bring in as the new backup point guard to Dame Lillard. I like this acquisition. Of course, they played him in the NBA Finals a couple of years ago. He's averaging about 6 points per game, 2.5 assists, 46% shooting from the field, 38% from 3, so he's being efficient. He's distributing the ball a little bit. He's scoring a little bit. I'm liking Cam Payne in this offense, especially since he's only playing 16 minutes and he's being that effective. And then finally, Malik Beasley, he's become exactly what the Bucks were hoping he could be, as a really, really good scorer off the bench. That six-man type, microwave type guy. He's averaging 12 points, 4.5 rebounds on 48% shooting from the field, 46% from 3 on 6 attempts. So a really good year from Malik Beasley as well. He's playing about 30 minutes per game, as that kind of like that 6 starter type guy. He takes shots like this. He's not afraid to take shots like that, and he usually makes them. They also got guys like Pat Connaughton, who is a really good role player. If you watched the game yesterday, you know why. Just always making the hustle plays. And then you also have Jay Crowder, who should be back from injury before long. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the standings as the last thing we do here today. The Bucks, like we said, are now second. They were riding that 7-game winning streak into the game yesterday, but they end up losing. Boston's a good squad. Boston is a very good ball club. I think they're about a game and a half back, if my math is correct there. And in the East overall, it's interesting because Atlanta keeps losing games. Chicago keeps losing games. There's Toronto. There's not really that team at the bottom half that's good. Like in the West, you got teams with winning records. The Golden State Warriors are a near winning record as like the 12th seed. It's crazy. But the outlook for this Celtics squad, or not the Celtics squad, goodness gracious, this Bucks squad, they go to Brooklyn tomorrow night, and then they go to Cleveland to finish out this little 4-game road trip. And they get 1 game at home on New Year's Day against the Pacers, and then they're on another 3-game road trip. But overall, it's not out of the question for them to win all 7 of their next 7 games. That Boston one will be fun to watch. Potential playoff preview. But overall, I think this Bucks team, they haven't reached their peak yet. This is a team that will peak at the right time because they've got guys like Andre Jackson Jr., Marjon Beauchamp. They've got, young wings that can be very, very good on defense as long as they learn how to play together. In the regular season in the NBA, the refs really don't allow teams to play physical, good, hard defense. So hopefully towards the end of the season, they can get this defense thing figured out. We'll continue to monitor that into the new year and beyond. But yeah, overall, I'm really excited about this Bucks team. They can score with anybody as long as they can play a little bit of defense. I think they will be a tough out in the playoffs. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like button and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. And with all that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.